Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. Merry Christmas to everyone. Happy holidays. Wow. Okay. First, I'm not sure how to pronounce this young lady's name. Kira. We'll just say Kira. We don't know her background. She looks blackish, blackish, maybe, possibly. For those of you that checked out the links in the description, we all went to school with a girl like this, especially for those of us that spend any time in college. We definitely know a young lady like this. Oh boy. Oh boy. So I should definitely take my own advice and put my cell phone down and get off of social media. That's number one. Number two, I'm gonna hurry up and try to get this out the way so I can spend time with the fam. So we're not gonna be here too long. Um, whew, man. Okay, where do we want to start? Do we want to start where with her war analogy? And her assuming you could tell she doesn't talk to military people. Um, her assuming that a war would imply an even playing field. That's the first thing that people that are gonna go to war try to do is not making an even playing field. Oh boy. That's not how war works. That's interesting. Last Christmas, it's so interesting. I'm doing this now. Last Christmas, I spoke about how these women like they claim they want fairness when they're really not looking for fairness, but that's the claim, right? And just listen to the framing of this, right? She frames this once again in that intersectional victimhood framing. Oh boy, y'all, man. Anyone who's been in the military, anyone that knows anyone in the military, the first thing you do is try to rig the game. Oh, as a matter of fact, you got the game so rigged before you go to war. Even playing field, where? Oh, first of all, secondly, ma'am, have you ever heard of proxy wars? Have you ever heard of proxy wars? Have you ever heard of coup d'etats? Have you ever heard of overthrows? Oh man, no. And by the way, this is tying to the subject. Oh yes, Miss Kira, we are tying to the subject. Have you ever heard of a stronger power helping to overthrow the leader of a weaker power and install a puppet government? What's the point of war if we do that? Can you describe the black community and the power that black women wield in the black community? Oops. You know what the US does overseas, it does domestically also, right? For any of one of us that remember the leak tape of was it in the Barack Obama or was it the Trump White House? I think it was the Barack Obama White House with whoever it was, the white lady that got caught speaking about who they want in power in Ukraine, and she was eeny meeny miny mowing which leader they should install in Ukraine. And this young lady talks about an even playing field. Y'all saw my thumbnail? Those of you that understand why Mr. Z posted that thumbnail, and I was searching the thumbnail I really want, and if anyone can find it and send it to me, because I have it in my screenshots, but Mr. Z, I counted today, and it looks like Mr. Z got over 9,000 screenshots on this phone, because I got a problem, and I can't find it. It's the screenshot that Dr. T. Hassan Johnson posted before. I screenshotted it twice, so it's in my phone somewhere twice. I can't find neither one of them. And it's the screenshot. It's like a little drawing, kind of a rudimentary but it has color. Drawing of a brother like on the base floor, and then a sister on a ledge or on an edge or on a platform, and he's looking down. I mean, she's looking down at him, and he's looking up, and he's like, I think he's asking her to help him up, or he's like, hey, how you doing? And she pretty much is looking down on him like, well, let me know when you get here. Anyone that's seen that picture that I'm saying, if you can send it to me, because that's what I want to use as the thumbnail for this. And why? Because this young lady, she's speaking, right? And this is what I tried to tell FD. These women are using intersectionality talk and victimhood talk, and we're quote unquote in the patriarchy when the black community is the furthest thing from a patriarchy. We'll get there. We'll get there. To beat up on black men for everything. This young lady uses the Simone Owens, Jonathan Owens story to essentially say, yeah, screw what Simone did. Say, okay, whatever, she's happy, she's dumb and naive, whatever. It's not about her. It's about us as black women collectively, or us as women collectively, and we use gossip and we use these stories to communicate with each other and say marriage sucks, these relationships suck, these men suck. I told you this thing is bigger than just the internet and social media. I told you, and you didn't want to hear me. This story, the way it's unraveling, oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. They saying, screw, I said it. It's not about these people. These women hate black men more than they love black women and black women's outcomes. This young lady got the nerve to speak about the sassy apocalypse. The funniest thing, it's not conservative women. See, I'll give conservative women this. If conservative black women and conservative women in general are speaking about the sassy man apocalypse, because of the side of the political spectrum they sit on, I can understand your argument. But if you claim to be any type of progressive or liberal or leftist, and you got the unmitigated gall to talk about sassy men, what leg do you have to stand on? That's your entire platform. Either you want the patriarchy and you want how men act in the patriarchy, or you don't. And there are second order effects to telling men they don't have to telling men, oh, you don't have to play that role. We're gonna open this wide open for you. You can act however you want to act. You can do whatever you want to do. There's no gender performance. There's no gender roles. Oh no, when you open it up all the way for women, guess what you did? You opened it up all the way for men. And the second order effects are dun dun dun. Those sassy men y'all keep on complaining about. That y'all secretly like. Huh? This young lady pretty much said bump whatever Simone Owens is talking about. This is not about her. And every time black women are disrespected, or every time women are, oh boy, oh boy. Woo. Everyone, especially those of us that spend any time on a college campus, we have come into contact with these women who swear they saying something. Because the way they enunciate words and they deliver words and they kind of sound a little schizophrenic, and they swear they're saying something, and they definitely would put it on their life they're saying something profound. Oh, they think they're saying something profound. Anything that has anything to do with black men, they find a way to shoehorn in some type of color purple abuse. You see how she shoehorned in to the conversation? As long as y'all are murdering us, let's call a thing a thing. Maybe you need to look at them statistics again. In the black community, most of this stuff is bi-directional violence that women initiate, and then y'all get your heads. Stop picking fights. That's what I'll say. You better go look at that again. If it's not most, it's definitely a good chunk. If it's not most, if not half, it's a good chunk of women initiate. I'm talking about in the black community. It's interesting how y'all try to do this black men then men thing. When you can't beat up on black men fully, you try to include other men. That's when you do the man thing, so you could still beat up on black men by proxy. Y'all need to stop acting like the black community is a patriarchy. Y'all need to stop acting like black straight men particularly. You gotta believe she's one of these black women that, or blackish, whatever she is, women that believe black men are the white supremacists of the black community. Black men are the racists of the black community. Black men are the white men of the black community. Meanwhile, on the other side, they speak about how much better they are than black men. Black women are more educated. Wait a minute, aren't black women are more educated than black men? Last time I checked, black women were running around here bragging about the fact that they're starting more businesses than black men. We already know that's not what it's saying, but okay, fine. They're starting more businesses than black men, right? They're in higher positions than black men. Black men are the anchor on their ankle, and then these women talk and they still try to frame the conversation like black men are punching down on them. You can't have it both ways. Either black women are doing better than black men or they're not. How y'all doing better than black men in pretty much all the institutions, but then still try to frame the conversation like black men are punching down? No, we playing the dozens and you getting your feelings hurt. When your gender war would imply that it's an even playing field, that's not how it works. And if the game is skewed, it's not skewed in the favor of black men, it's skewed in the favor of black women. Social dominance order, lady. Thank you, Indigo. They get they little. I said it before. Black men and black women play the dozens. Black women get they feelings hurt and they go run to white zaddy. Kim Foster. Ooh, big daddy government, white daddy government. Look, black men are going over there. They're doing passport, bro. Stop them. They're tarnishing the image of black women. White zaddy government, come stop them. Pathetic. We making fun of each other, and whenever black women get their feelings hurt, they go run to white daddy government. They go run to the white daddy institutions. When Edward Blum has something to say about that. Oops. The white man y'all run into is saying, yeah, about that. Look, no more. The white dude that's propping you up, this quote unquote gender war, it would imply an even playing field. That's not how it works, and the playing field is skewed in the favor of women like you. Yuck. Right? Look at all they're pulling out of this Simone Owens, Jonathan Owens story. And I saw the clip of Tony Gaskins, bruh. If you don't stop, the issue everyone has, if we're going to be honest, is that Simone Owens is treating Jonathan Owens like he's the prize. Either y'all want the same gender dynamics that we had in the 50s, in the 40s, in the early 60s, or you don't. And if you don't, then guess what? Things like this will become more and more of a common occurrence, where the woman pursues and she shows her interest. Oh, Mr. Z, you about to say it. And she courts the man. Oh, their heart just stopped. Their heart just stopped. Oh, check on the ladies, y'all. Their heart just stopped. Maybe even, oh, they're about to off themselves right now. She might even be the one to propose. Oh, check on them, y'all. Check on them. See, these are the second order effects that this FD, this is the part that women were pretending that they were okay with, and now that it's starting to show itself, they're showing you. They're throwing temper tantrums. They're just framing it a certain way. I read in the comments, and I got a screenshot. The Tony Gaskins video. One of these sisters wrote this long ass paragraph of like, well, it would be nice if the women of my features, we know we're not really sought after like that, but it would be nice if the men that look like us would want us too and elevate us too. If y'all don't stop being jealous of upper middle class white women, if they would elevate our image too. I read that thing the whole time rolling my eyes. It's interesting. It's funny that I could read it. I'm surprised I can read it because the whole time I'm rolling my eyes, side-eyeing the whole goddamn thing. And you novice and noobs would read that, and you're not reading the message behind what she's saying. You're just reading the words. You don't understand what she's really saying. Is it would be nice if the men of our same phenotype would elevate us like how white men do white women. You mean white men with the media apparatus? You mean those white men? Translation: why are black women always trying to settle? I understand Tony Gaskins. He's part of the more churchy black church crowd. I get it. They really have an issue with this gender dynamics. Hey, that's y'all fault because y'all were perfectly okay with the matriarchy. And not Tony Gaskins in particular. I know his situation is a little different, the way he kind of frames these things, but still, y'all were perfect. That's why there ain't no goddamn black men in the church. Definitely not no straight black men, except for some of the old ones. Black men said, yeah, about that matriarchy over there and that pimpin' ass pastor. So back to Miss Kiera, I guess her name is, and you read through the comments, it's listening to the supposed kind of leftist or left leaning, even if they're not full on left, kind of trending left, maybe women, particularly black women, talk about the sassy man apocalypse. Either y'all want patriarchy, either you want the gender roles and the gender norms, or you don't. Thank you, Oliver. But thank you. But people don't know that, and they don't care. And Oliver says white men def don't elevate white women. They at each other's throats too, just less exposed. But because I guess they have a quickly diminishing patriarchy over there, black women want to call what we have over here, or they want to imply or suggest that what we have over here in this quote unquote black community is a patriarchy also. Or at least when they're beating up on black men, when they want to beat up on black men, they'll suggest or imply once in a while, just straight up say that the black community is a patriarchy. Right? Better you, I see that comment. I ain't even gonna highlight it. But let's just say, reading through the comments and seeing what the women were saying, I'm like, okay, I see your lane, player. I see your lane. I'm not, I don't follow him too so much. I know of him. I've seen a couple of videos. I've known of him for a little while. But once I read through those comments and I see how to lay, I was like, okay, all right, all right. Derek Jackson without the physique. I hear you. I hear you. Right. This one, he's just a little bit better at like telling black women a smidge more truth, just a smidge. Okay, I hear you, player. I hear you. Right. And FD, even whoever this woman is, Miss Kiera, telling you this. Essentially, this is bigger than social media. I told you. And what did she say? They use gossip to communicate. I told you. They use gossip to communicate. Right. And she does the whole Hunger Games thing, right? Hey, man, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, right? Because the universe and God and whoever are doing Z a solid right now. This Simone Owens and Jonathan Owens thing is just flicked open the lid to everything the Black Manosphere has been speaking about, right? These women are on the internet and social media showing they ass. throwing a goddamn temper tantrum because Simone Owens had the unmitigated gall to pursue a black man. A black man that even some of the ladies, they low-key kind of admitting, look better than her. Oh, it burns. Oh, it chaps their ass. Oh. And the fact you and thank you, Kano. Kano's a brother out of Britain. He covers this celebrity gossip stuff and whatever. By way of Africa, I can't remember what country he's out of. Or his people are out of Africa. I've had a couple of conversations with him. And yeah, so and thank you for saying it. The issue was that he didn't cover her, even if it is true. No, listen. Either y'all want men to act a certain way and take everything that comes with it, or you don't. He didn't cover her. Translation. He didn't kiss her ass and laud her, and that's not where Kano was going, but I know the way women are trying to say it. And he didn't act like he was the one pursuing her. And he had the unmitigated gall to call himself the prize and say that men are always the prize. Right? Let's be very clear. We're going to push around all of the BS and get right to the real issue. The real issue is that a successful, accomplished, rich and famous black woman, an athlete, a person who got there off a grit. She wasn't elevated there. She's talented and she worked herself hard to get there. She pursued a black man publicly, and everyone knows it. That's the issue. It's making certain black men feel a certain way. It's making definitely black women feel a certain way. That this black woman, she didn't try to manipulate him. She didn't try to put the hints out there and put the breadcrumbs and then lead him. No, she went after what she wanted, and it was a black man. She pursued him, and the fact that and if you want to talk about power dynamics, Miss Kiera, that's the real issue everyone has. And the fact that he doesn't attempt to kind of frame it in a different way, like, okay, I saw the signs and then I went after her, because he doesn't try to frame it another way. Oh, it's making everyone cringe and everybody's skin chafing, everybody's getting all scratchy and itchy and I don't like this dynamic. I don't like this dynamic. She's richer than him. She's more famous than him. But then, she's pursuing him. I don't know how I feel about that. And then he's better looking than her. I don't know how I feel about that. Right? All these people is conservatives. Y'all go ahead, because y'all making sense right now. I disagree with y'all on just about everything, especially politically and economically. But on this one, why? Because the leftists are the ones looking like full-on hypocrites right now. Huh? FD, I told you. I told you. All these people are leftists and left-leaning and lefty and progressive and liberal right up until it comes time to start talking about these relationships. Huh? And these relationship dynamics. Uh-oh. And Indigo says, did you see FD going back and forth with people on Twitter? Yes, I did. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I told you. Miss Kiera is only proving the point. All those women in your Twitter thread, FD signifier, are proving the point. Huh? FD, you know already. That's why I keep on bringing up to you when you and Eddie, and I can't remember the name of the other brother, were speaking about Ebony K. Williams the first time around, and you sit under your breath, okay, so that's where divestment comes from. Oh, that's where they divest. And when, shout out to Leon, when you had that interview and that conversation with T Noir, and you and T Noir pretty much admitted y'all don't really know what to do with these women that want this lifestyle. And you said, "Oh, see, how am I supposed to tell a black woman, a woman that's patriarchy? How am I supposed to tell her that the whole it's patriarchy?" And you and T Noir and Cree always say measure, which is you're looking at her, she looking at you. That means both of y'all don't know, huh? Exactly, Nema. And Nema says, so these folks are situational leftists. Yes, and they give leftists a bad name. And that's when conservatives point out up, hypocrisy. Ah, you ain't being consistent. What happened? I thought you was a leftist. Why you not a leftist on this? That's what I tried to tell. They talking all that talk right up until the time comes time to get married or be okay. Fine, not married, be in a relationship. All of that leftist stuff go out the window, huh? And from Africa I came. I like this. And from Africa I came says they are liberals pretending to be leftists, right? And you hear, and it's really women, black women, pushing this sassy man revolution. First of all, y'all raise these boys. That's number one. Number two, y'all are the ones that said y'all don't want men to be these hard as nail, traditional, tough as nail men. And this is their way of trying to shame men. I want to be very clear. This is their way of trying to shame men, shame black men into patriarchy under feminist specifications. This is their way. I look, Mr. Z does not often do this. This one y'all need to keep. This is the one y'all need to spread around the whole entire black manosphere. Let it spread out everywhere. This is women trying to pick and choose the parts of patriarchy they want to keep, remix it with the parts of feminism they want to keep. They don't hit the wall hard as hell with the men ain't ish. We don't need these men. I could do battle by myself. So now they trying to reverse and then pick men back up, but only the parts of patriarchy they want to keep, which is the protector provider part. And the stoic man that dies at the age of 58 part. And compassion, I saw that clip of Chris Rock speaking about his father. I saw it. Thank you. And it was heartfelt. Where Chris Rock is saying, everybody acts like my dad just suddenly died. He didn't just suddenly die. You look at men like him, they die about in their 50s. That's horrific. Black men doing the right thing, doing right by their families, out of here by 55, 58, 57. So women said, you know what? You don't got to play that role. And now that certain men, black men, and I'm saying that now with my hoochie daddy shorts on, are wearing hoochie daddy shorts. Huh? Getting manicures and pedicures. Metro Central. Now the sassy man revolution. The sassy man era. I don't like this. It makes me feel a certain way. They think they prettier than us. Pick one, ladies. Huh? Pick one. I love it. The hypocrisy. See, as I said, and I don't know how I'm gonna be able to post that. The comment I'm speaking about from Tony Gaskin's comment section. But if you read it, she sounds so like only if these men are men, the men of our cohort, the men of our phenotype would elevate us. But if you really read behind the words, not just the words, the message behind the words is why aren't black men lauding us and elevating us the way white women are elevated? I want to be a white woman. So I love the hypocrisy is for it's here in everyone's face. I said it, the internet will expose us all. The internet will expose us all, and here you go. And now what? I would love to see foreign man in a foreign land speak about nig cells now and try to frame this, huh? I'ma love to see Khadijah try to frame this. I'ma love to see T Noir. Well, T Noir every once in a while she actually right. I'ma love to see Nappy at a Hoba try to frame this. FD Signature Fire try to reframe this. T1J try to mock men and black men with this one. All of y'all got y'all thumb on the scales for the ladies, and this is how they're acting. About an athlete married to another athlete and their relationship dynamic that both of them are happy with. Miss Kiera told you straight up she don't even care. I don't care what Simone Owens is saying. This ain't about her. We're using this story to have a larger conversation. And then she uses Keke Palmer. You mean lion ass Keke Palmer? Huh? Oh, I forgot. Y'all don't even care how true the stories are. Because FD over here saying, you know, I really was rooting. I was really rooting for what's his face that played King, right? Jonathan Majors. I was really rooting for him, but you know, he could have possibly been emotionally abusive and maybe physically abusive. Boy, hey, boy. I love it. And then you wonder why so many young men and men are just dropping out of society. You can't win for losing. Oh, you wonder why. What they're telling you is even when you're innocent, if she accused you, player, in the court of public opinion, you're already guilty. And then if you're found guilty off of a technicality, oh, we're going to bury you with it. Oh. Huh? Don't forget, this is the same FD signifier that still shoehorned in Rhoda Brickgate lying ass into his story. Am I a simp for black women? Yes, I am. Guilty as charged. It's because of the FD signifiers that we get the Kieras. It's because of the foreign man in the foreign land that we get the Kieras. It's because of the T1Js that we get the Chrissies. Huh? That's how that goes. That's how that goes. It's because of the conscious Lees. That's how we get Kim Foster. That's how we get them. Because the men ain't saying nothing to the girls that become women like Kim Foster, that become women like Kiera. And then the women ain't saying, so the women ain't saying nothing to the girls, and then the men ain't saying nothing to the girls. And then y'all raise these spoiled, brat, entitled, think they're always on the right side of history, especially in relation to men, ass women who have one foot in boss girl feminism and another foot in intersectionality talk, and they always frame it like black men are punching down. You listen to Kim Foster talk about this story, and you see her, and she's failing at it, trying so hard not to be the little neoliberal a-hole that she is, and she sucked at it. The little white woman wannabe, elitist white woman wannabe that she truly is at heart. Like I told FD she was, but you know, what does Mr. Z know? And Nigel ADOS says, then it was revealed the Brickgate lady was lying and made off with 40K in imbecile donors GoFundMe cash. Look, we know that, and no one cares. It's BLM all over again. And so essentially what it looks like the black community is saying across the board, even people that's not even black American, that's not even in America, what they're saying is that the black community the power dynamic will perpetually be the BLMing, shout out to the Roger Report, the BLMing of the black community and of black men. It would be black men's blood, lives, and memories that the black community is built off of while we insult black men's blood, lives, and memories. The foundation of black female, black LGBTQ progress will be built off of the death of black men and boys, while black women and black LGBTQ give black men and boys, straight black men and boys, the middle finger. Huh. And what Miss Simone Owens and Mr. Jonathan Owens exposed is that a clip of an interview that like none of them watched it, bro. None of them watched the whole thing. A clip of an interview blew the entire black sector of social media apart. This is not a story. This is not a story. We have raising interest rates. We have black women becoming more homeless. We have Ed Blum out here shredding anything that black people ever did over the past 50 or so years. Right? We have the AI revolution, etc., etc. We have an upcoming election with two geriatric racist white men. Well, that's like almost every US election, Mr. Z. Yeah, you're right. And this non-story story is only a story because black women got allergic to seeing what the outcome of all they talk over the past 3 or so decades look like. All that we're gonna raise our sons to be unlike their fathers, right? We're gonna raise go-getter black women, even though Simone Owens' situation was a little different, her upbringing. And when they see when they see what the receipt of that look like, now they get it all. Ooh, oh my God, that's what it looks like. That we pursue the men, and the men are maybe more physically attractive than us, and oh my, and we're the famous and rich ones, or at least we're the one that's more famous and more rich, and that's what it looks like. Ooh, and that we're the ones that drive 45 minutes or 45 miles to go see them, and I don't like the way that looks. Ooh, okay, you know what? How do we insult the men into being the traditional men without the power? Call them sassy. Yeah, that's it. Say this is the sassy man era. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna call them sassy. Huh? We're gonna challenge their manhood and their masculinity on with a traditional lens, even though we actually don't want them to exercise that type of influence and power. Can you have the money and the power, but don't use it on me, please? If you don't get your lame ass out of here. Calling you sassy is their way of telling you to, just like the young lady said on Daily Wrap Up Crew, provide, protect, and shut up. Calling you sassy is their way of saying that. Why are you talking, man? Pay these bills. Make sure that nothing comes after me. Eat me out. D me down real good. And shut up. Huh? And we watch Miss Kiera try to frame this. And y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. And Dre says, and thank you for the super chat, Merry Christmas and a flat black New Year. A flat back New Year. Nah, man, I don't know about the flat backs. I don't know about that. Nah, ain't my speed. Right. And here comes some sister without a bubble talking about featureism. Oh boy, here we go. Somewhere in the world is a sister that heard Mr. Z giggling like a schoolgirl and still got offended at what you said, Dre, and then what I said. Right? This look, like I said, I wasn't joking when I said it yesterday. FD, whatever, wherever your notes are, wherever your binder, your composition book is, you need to take that, shred it, and throw it into the fireplace. If you really care about black boys, okay, fine. Let's grant you that you actually care about black boys, and your goal isn't to come to the black manosphere and to other black men and tell us to shut up because we making black women feel a certain way. Let's assume, it's a long assumption, let's assume that that's not what your goal is here. Okay, fine. If you really care about black boys, all of your notes and the way you frame things, you need to torch it. Right? Torch it. Because if this story, this non-story story shows you anything, it's Mr. Z was right. And I'm not particularly academically inclined the way others are. I am not. Um, I, you're the one with the master's degree. Let's just, I can't even say how did I see it and you didn't see it. You see it. You just you're hell bent on not assessing this the way you know it needs to be assessed. Kim Foster sat there and watched, she admitted a 30-second clip, and then she watched maybe another 2 second or, I mean, sorry, 2 or 3 minute clip, and she deduced from that everything she think she needed to hear. And she said it herself. She ain't need context. Hey, man, you can't make this up. That's the woman you're in community with. Huh? Miss Kiera over here trying to frame this just like we already know. Black women always going to try to frame it. And this weirdo intersectional, it's the patriarchy, somewhat alluding to men punching down. It's not fair. It's not an even playing field. That's not how war goes. And if the field is skewed, it's skewed in women like you favor, madam. %70 of black boys that are born in upper class in rich situations come back down. That's systemic, madam. A third of black men are convicted felons, ma'am. That is a systemic problem, ma'am. In 2016, some 21% of black men were unemployed. That's a systemic issue, ma'am. Huh? You're talking about the patriarchy while you're speaking about a black man and a black woman in their relationship dynamic. What patriarchy if she's the one that pursued him? Uh-oh. What patriarchy if she's the one that's richer than him, more famous than him, and if there's any influence, she's the one who's more influential than him? What patriarchy? Huh? What patriarchy when y'all are calling him Mr. Biles? Huh. Compassion, if you listening, you could clip this. Right? What patriarchy? It's a patriarchy, but y'all are calling, black women are calling Mr. and Mrs. Jonathan Owens Mr. Biles. They're calling Mr. Jonathan Owens Mr. Biles. Mr. Simone Biles. And then turning around and calling the black community a patriarchy. Where? FD, when I told you they don't really mean it, I said it. Once women get wind of and really have to own what this is going to look like, that's when they make the mad dash for the white men that still got some modicum, in America at least, some modicum of power because they kind of want the patriarchy while they mock it for men of color, particularly black men. Huh? Miss Kiera is talking about black men being sassy, right? Oh, I did not know that. Okay, so okay. And Better You says she may not be richer than him. His finances are a lot less public than hers, and some sources estimate him to be at 50 million, while she's around 16 million. We're talking about millionaires, and these people got the nerve to call him Dusty. Shout out to Dr. Thunder, Dusty Rich, right? We're talking about millionaires under the age of 30. And people got the nerve to call this man Dusty. And Only Logical says, "What's going on, Only Logical?" Y'all check out Only Logical's channel. And Only Logical says, "No way, he's worth 50 million." Right? And okay, he's worth 50 million, but I'm saying this because of the framing. Let's say he's worth less than her. Fine. If women want to take that and run with it, fine, cool. And so what if he's worth less than her? Either y'all trying to get rid of the patriarchy or you're not. And you got to eat all of the second order effects that come with women's newfound power and influence. Huh? Azrael says he's worth 6 million. Nigel says I heard 7 million. Okay, we're not gonna do this. We're not gonna do this. Right? Either you want patriarchy and everything that comes with that, or you want feminism and quote unquote egalitarianism. They don't really want that for real, as evidenced by this situation, and everything that comes with egalitarianism. And what's going to come with egalitarianism, wait for it, are sassy men. You know what else is going to come with egalitarianism? The power dynamic, or at least the pursuit that we see going on with, and it's not really the power dynamic. You can see that man run his goddamn relationship, but women pursue men. Right? Azrael said, exactly, bro, exactly. And Azrael says, imagine you got black women working at a call center calling a millionaire Dusty. And that's exactly what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing. Right? This, oh man, I'm telling y'all, this is my fault. This is my fault. I woke up mad early, right? Because Mr. Z doesn't sleep apparently. Woke up mad early. I already gave my girl her gift yesterday, right? Woke up mad early, playing Forza, and my dumb ass decided I was gonna play my playlist, put my headphones on or whatever. I saw the thumbnail from Miss Kiera's video, and I was like, ugh, don't do it, Z, don't do it, don't do it. It's Christmas time. You ain't gonna rage out. I clicked it, and there you go. Why did I click it? Right? Oh, and just like that. Absolutely crazy. This lady got the nerve to call us sassy. She have the nerve to try to frame the conversation like black men are punching down on black women. She's framing it like this is some intersectional talk. She's framing it like if anything, the board is skewed in the favor of what men in general. You can maybe make that argument. You can't say the game is skewed for black men in relation to black women. No, you cannot. And FDR told you, man. You already know. That's why you said, you had to leave that intersectional feminist, even though you still use it, that intersectional feminist framing alone, because this is what black women have been doing it with it. That's why Kimberly Crenshaw came up with it. The way Kiara has framed this is exactly what black women have been doing with the intersectional framing of the conversation between black men and black women. You gotta love it. This is about a black man and a black woman under the age of 30 that are millionaires, famous, athletic. Look at the dynamics. Look at everything that this flies in the face of. She's darker skinned than him. He's more attractive than her. She's more famous than him. She's, from what we understand, I know some of y'all are saying 50 million. She's richer than him. And look at how, because of the dynamics, because of all of these things that fly in the face of everything we've been saying in the black community, particularly on the left, all that patriarchy talk and male leadership and all of this crap, because this couple and their existence flies in the face of all of that, look at how black women are acting. I told you. Look at how black women are acting. He didn't cover her. He didn't protect her. He didn't protect her image. He threw her under the bus. He's trying to humble her. He's insecure. He hates her. Run, Simone, run. You didn't get out. You can still divorce him. Oh, even Tony Gaskins said it. Ooh. Huh? Y'all are so hell-bent on seeing these people have a relationship that you can readily identify, approve of. Y'all would rather make up than have the relationship that they like, that they have built for themselves. That's insane. That's insane. You had black women literally online speaking about Simone should have been with Zac Efron. Oh my God. You have black women online literally saying that the relationship, the dynamic that they should have going on is like the dynamic between Serena Williams and Alexis Ohanian. That's the way that Jonathan Owens should be moving, like Alexis Ohanian. What a coinky. Zac Efron and Alexis Ohanian just so happen to be white men. Oh, what a coincidence. What a coinky dink. And Dre says, "Hey, I mean flat backs of all races, not just white women." Hysterical. And thank you for the super chat. Right? I don't know about that, bro. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Right? And Only Logical says Zac Efron and all his health problems, but they don't care nothing about that. This is about a successful black woman, an athletic, successful, talented black woman being elevated by a white man. How can she truly have her femininity and her womanhood validated if it's not by a white man? And that's what the ladies are really saying. Okay, that's cool, Simone. That's cool. That's cool. Okay, you killed the Olympic Games. You got all these medals. That's cool. But we need your femininity now to be validated by the man, the white man. Right? Even Amanda Seals of all people, y'all. Amanda Seals of all people. She had to tell black women, yo, y'all stop telling me to go date a white man, go date out. Amanda Seals of all people, Jesus Christ, had to tell black women to stop telling her to date out. Hey, Oliver, man, hey, I'm not even gonna say you're wrong. I'm not gonna say you're wrong. And Oliver says, I think at this point, it's a mental illness, and no amount of logic will permeate or penetrate, better yet, will penetrate their neurotic reality distortion field. Hey, man, and well, Edward Anderson says that, right? Shout out to Ed. Ed says that, right? It's a mental illness. It's a mental illness. And there's something to be said. Sarge Willie Pete. We've always heard Sarge Willie Pete speak about prolonged exposure to poverty, and we have to. And that's for those of us that care to do this. Um, th- there's something to be said about not black women's beauty position in this society for multiple generations and being the bust down for white men, and the experiment for white men for multiple generations, going from slavery on, right? And black women being white men's dirty little secret for generations, and what that's done to them psychologically, right? What has it done to black women to be sitting next to Karen while Karen waxes on about her great life and her husband and her wedding ring and her children going off to college and university, etc., while Keisha secretly is seething, right? I said it already. You know, from Jack Johnson on, black women have felt and acted like black men are the worst things ever because black athletes occasionally sleep with, have sex with, have children with, and marry white women. Right? Now, never mind that black women were in on it too, and they were over here getting piped down by white dudes willingly. We ain't gonna mention that part. Right? But there's no excuse for Jack Johnson, but we understand when it comes to Nina Simone. Right? We get it when it comes to Nina Simone. Well, you understand, like, black men didn't really appreciate her features, so you got to understand it's the way they did. Right? It's different. That's what we hear from all black women. When black men date out and when black women date out, it's different. When black men marry out and black women marry out, it's different. Black men date out and marry out because black men have a low self-esteem. They hate what they see in the mirror. They hate black women. They're trying to get the white man's prize. They're talking black and sleeping white. That's why black men date out and marry out. When black men do date and marry out, they're going to get their preference, right? The Kanye West line, once he get on, he leave your ass for a white girl. He got to symbolize his wealth and his newfound status with this non-black woman, probably a white woman, right? But when black women date out, it's because the white man appreciates her features in a way that black men don't, especially for darker skinned black women. You have to understand, right? You have to understand She tried for with black men, but black men don't really appreciate her and her features and her broad nose and her kinky hair. So she just had to end up with the white man and then never divorce him, because the divorce rate between black women and white men is lower than the divorce rate between black men and white women. Well, what's the number one and number two reason for divorce in America? Oh, it's but see, it's not. See, you see what you're doing, there, black men. And I just wish they would just come out and say, white men know how to be men and black men don't. And let everything, all the racist, anti-black, misandrous that statement implies, just let it come out. Just let it come out, ladies. Right? And better use is cough. Raven Simone chasing after them white girls. Them white girls. Yeah. Yeah. Corey Holcomb said one time he saw her at the bank and she was all hugged up on a white girl like she needed the white girl. Like she needed and I can imagine. You can tell Raven Simone is one of them weirdo white worshiping ass. Hell, we've been around. We all know someone like that, or know someone that knows someone like that, right? Their inferiority complex is so deep they only could be validated by a non-black person. Right? Can y'all remember when Raven Simone first, like when she first came back to our collective consciousness, before people really realized that she was on the LGBTQ kick, and before she put on the more weight, right? And she was a little thickums, and then people were, wait a minute, okay, Raven, all right. Right? This is around the time I think she did an interview on Wendy Williams' show, and we were okay, all right, we see you. And then progressively, she just got more and more, gained more weight. She started talking. She got the job on The View, right? And they're it's Raven talking again. Ugh. TG said, I saw white women on TikTok call him a deranged narcissist. Like, bro, I promise you there's not that many narcissists in America. Women in general, this is not just a black woman thing. Women are throwing around this word narcissist like when we rediscover a word, or when a word becomes it's now it's in vogue, and everybody just starts slinging it around for anything. You just find a way to shoehorn that word into any statement you making. That's what women are doing with the word narcissist. I promise you, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, no one was calling everyone narcissist 2 years ago, 3 years ago. All of a sudden, everyone's a narcissist all of a sudden. Every man is a narcissist, particularly black men. They just start slinging around narcissist. Come on. Right? Mr. Donnie Mac. Oh. You exposing yourself, Mr. Donnie Mac. We not supposed to know this. And Mr. Donnie Mac says, from Mean Girls, this is funny. And, and Mr. Donnie Mac says, stop trying to make fetch happen. Mr. Donnie Mac, we showing our sassy man era. We showing our sassy man. This is from the movie Mean Girls, y'all. And the queen bee white girl in the movie, she said that to one of her apparatchiks, one of the, there's the mean girl clique, and they're the quote unquote popular girls, and one of the girls just kept on trying to shoehorn fetch and trying to make fetch like a cool word, and the queen bee was like, yo, stop trying to make fetch happen. Right? It's hysterical. Exactly, Mr. Donnie Mac. Exactly. Now, every black man is a narcissist. They just slinging, bruh. You would think this is like the mid 80s. The way they slinging around narcissists, you think this is what cocaine, crack, better yet, crack, crack, crack. He's a narcissist. He's a narcissist. He's acting like a narcissist. He's a narcissist. Stop. You wake up one day and now it's all about therapy. Black men are all men are narcissists, particularly black men, right? Exactly, Indigo. They're using gaslight. Everybody, black men are gaslighting everyone, particularly black women. Every man, particularly black men, are narcissists, right? They're all experiencing some type of trauma. Everything is abusive. I remember, Stefco said something once and she called it abusive. I'm like, God damn, what is it abusive? Jesus Christ. This is frightening. You once again look at the way Miss Kiera framed this. For those of you that don't know, click the links in my description, right? And Passport OG says, Merry Christmas, thank you for your beautiful mind that is sharper than a scalpel. Thank you, brother. Thank you. I don't know about all that. I don't know. But thank you. Right? Jeez. These words get him. Okay, fine. Miss Kiera, if you're right, and that's how y'all communicate through gossip and all this other stuff. So this is how y'all spread words around, right? This is how y'all spread words around. Because 3 years ago, not everyone on the planet was a narcissist. You wake up late 2022 sometime, and then all of us, every man, every black man particularly, is a narcissist. Just a raving narcissist. And I guess this is where they're going to shoehorn in the patriarchy. The patriarchy raised y'all that you're supposed to be the center of the universe, and so y'all are all narcissists because the world is changing. Meanwhile, y'all took a underage 30 couple where both of them are millionaires, both of them are athletically gifted. Y'all took that and a non-story. This is not a story. And because of your, dare I say it, collective narcissism? Uh-oh. Y'all took this non-story black women and elevated it to being a story. This is not a story. I said it, the internet will expose us all. Look at this non-story that y'all have elevated to being a story because you got your little feelings hurt that Simone Owens did everything y'all said not to do and got her a goddamn husband. She didn't wait to be acted upon, she acted. Right? She married a man who's less famous than her. She actually enjoys his company. She's not just tolerating him because he's quote unquote richer than her. She's genuinely happy. She's not making this, some type of transactional type of relationship. Everything y'all say don't do, she did it. And she's married. Oh. Everything y'all said don't do, she did, and she's married. And she's married to a man she genuinely likes. Oh. She's married to a man she actually finds attractive. And once again, thank you for the super chat, Passport OG. Thank you for the compliment. Michael Ross, thank you for the super sticker. Thank you for the super sticker. And Miss Kiera is out here framing this in some patriarchal with some type of patriarchal lens. What patriarchy? The black community is not a patriarchy. That's half of black women's complaint. If you want to talk about the overall society, maybe you got a leg to stand on. But then, how did this apply to two black people? Thank you, Eric Denman. Her cardinal sin was going against the sisterhood, right? Patriarchy. What patriarchy? You saying patriarchy while claiming that we're living through a sassy man era. What? Pick one. I'm telling y'all, they're really trying to shoot this. The goal is to get patriarchy under feminist specifications where they get to pick and choose which parts of patriarchy they want. And by the way, the framing of this will be a softer, more understanding man, when it really is, we just want the provider protector part of patriarchy, the you feel obligated to her part of patriarchy, but then we want the negative liberty part of feminism. We still want to keep the boss girl part of feminism if we so choose. For individual women. So if individual women get to decide whether they want to be a stay-at-home wife and mother and girlfriend, while the other ones get to choose the boss girlfriend, we just need enough men where whether you want to be a stay-at-home wife or whether you want to be a boss girl feminist, there's enough men where you could decide and you'll be okay. The problem is that so many of them OD'd on the boss girl feminist stuff, even though they weren't making the type of money. Uh-oh. That they hit the market cap of, wait a minute, we might have took away too much resources from the men to give to the women, that now that some of these women want to be stay-at-home wives or they don't want to do all this 50, 60-hour work weeks. Yeah, there's not enough men to go around to provide them with the lifestyle. Right? There's not enough men to go around to provide them with the lifestyle. FD, this one, nope. This one I'm fighting. I'm fighting it all the way. This one y'all don't get to do. Y'all don't get to push this one. Nope. This patriarchy under feminist specifications, nope. Y'all don't get to push this one. Nope. That's what this is. That's what this will ultimately become if we don't fight this. Your sons slaves to mean, resentful women who still don't kind of really want them. They really still want the ballerific white dude. But we would have raised a couple of generations of men who feel obligated to women who give them their ass to kiss. Right? Cold, shrewd, mean, snarky women. Shout out to Passport OG. And Hermes says, emascueasy. Right? While we have women like Kim Foster and Miss Kiera leading the charge. Right? For the new, softer, more understanding, less aggressive, more in touch with his feelings, right? Still understand his obligations and, his duties. Masculinity. And when you peel back all the layers, what it really is once again, Mr. Z, you about to say it? Yeah, I'm about to say it. Men funds, women runs. Right? And once again, thank you for the super sticker, Michael Ross. Right? Men funds, women runs. And y'all give Mr. Z 1 second. And I'm back. And I'm back. So once again, I'm about to end out in a minute, but yeah, so the framing of this, right? She pretty much walks in the gate, walks in the door, speaking about DV and murder. I mean, brother FD, look, like I told you, bro. I told you. And the important part is not just that I told you. I told you that what's happening is that men and women, so men like you and women like Kim Foster, y'all all D on quote unquote critiquing black men, right? While the Kim Fosters of the world hide their contempt of black men behind quote unquote constructive criticism and the critique. But then when it's time to assess women and women's behavior, you admitted it. Y'all soft shoe and soft glove, if you even do it at all. And it's not just, well, what about the women? That's not what Mr. Z is doing. I'm saying generations of that is how you get a Kiera thinking she's saying something. Generations of that is how you get Kim Foster. Kim Foster has multiple times now tell you how she don't appreciate how, particularly in the black community, we overpunish. And it looks like we get off on it. I agree with Kim Foster, but I understand where she's coming from. What she's saying is not exactly what Mr. Z is saying. Kim Foster wants to be an a-hole and get a slap on the wrist for it. Generations of black women being allowed to be mean a-holes, bring that in public, be mean a-holes to black men, insult black men in public. I want to be very clear, on public platforms, news, talk shows, print media. They're being allowed to do that by the black community. They're being encouraged to do that by white society and other non-black folks. They're being encouraged to do that by other black women and by black LGBTQ. Generations of that are how you get Kim Foster. That's how you get Kiera. That's how you get Ebony K. Williams. Generations of we're going to be harsh as hell to our sons, but we're going to play patty cake with our daughters. That's if we say anything at all about her behavior. This is not just about it's not fair. Why am I not saying nothing to the women? That's not what Mr. Z is saying. I'm saying, do you understand that generations of how we're doing it right now is how you get Kim Foster? That's how you get a Passport Bros. That's how you get a SYSBM. Because the black men are not wanting to be with the black women, not because they're not physically attracted to the black women. It's because they're no longer going to be part of some goddamn hyena clan where we played patty cake with our daughters for generations and it's raised them to be entitled, mean, snarky, a-hole brats. Y'all raised a bunch of Kim Fosters and Yannies and Paris Milan and Chrissy and Kiera and Ebony K. Williams and Ostefko, right? Ostefko told you because of the way the world sees her in her looks, she wants an exceedingly gorgeous man. Well, and she wants that exceedingly gorgeous man to have eyes for no one but her. So she wants a Chris Evans or a Chris Hemsworth. So someone, white man, who everyone, women, see as insanely attractive, but that only has eyes for her so that her beauty could be validated. And women like Ostefko was an actual freaking teacher. I said it, you didn't hear me, or you pretended to not understand what I was saying. And you're right, Lion. You're right. That's not the point I'm trying to make, but you're right. And Lion says, man, majority of them are not that attractive at all. You got a bunch of fives at best talking about settling. You're right. You're right. And shout out to Compassion and Callous because Tucker Carlson, conservative Tucker Carlson, he said it and y'all refuse. Y'all don't want to own that the women said, if we make more than these men, screw them. Which wouldn't matter if it's 1 or 2% of women. It wouldn't matter. 3%, it wouldn't matter. Have fun getting women to be comfortable marrying men that they earn more than, that they're more famous than. That's how you get. That's what this whole critique of excuse me, I was going to say Paris of Simone and Jonathan is about. That's what this whole thing is about. She pursued him. She's richer than him. She's more famous than him. And it's making the oh my god, you validated a black man. Oh my god. Oh my god. So, on that note, and Dre says, and thank you for the super chat. Dre says, Christmas holiday panel all day, either way. I can't do a panel today. We actually, I'm gonna have to run in a minute. Right? And look at what Diaspora L says. Steph Cole worldview is normal in the school system. But FD was a teacher, and he's gonna tell us, no, it's not. Right? Oh, Mr. Z tried to tell him, and now you got Kiera. She straight up said, "I told y'all yesterday. This is bigger than. This is not about Simone Owens and her husband. This is not about Jonathan Owens and his wife." And Kiera just straight up told you, "Yeah, this is not about them. This is not about her." I told y'all. If Paris never said anything right in her life, one thing she did say that is right. Y'all hate black men more than you love black women. The way they're talking about Simone Owens is as if she's some naive little girl with an inferiority complex and she's insecure. And then Jonathan Owens is also insecure. And so they got together and Tony Gaskins, bruh. Shame on you, bro. Because I'm really thinking about it. I'm sorry, y'all like, goddamn, Z, what you talking about? Shame on you. Tony Gaskins is out here talking like physical abuse is destined to happen between them. Once his career is over, physical abuse is destined to happen. He's going to be insecure. Y'all go ahead and you know what? I don't have it in the description. I'm gonna put it in the description. How reckless is that to say that? To imply it, to suggest it, but he didn't even imply or suggest it. He straight up said it. Well, better use is I've dated 4 teachers and heard similar to worse. But FD gonna tell us, oh, we got a skewed worldview. All right. Right? He gonna call it confirmation bias type talk. Okay. Tony Gaskins was out here talking about Jonathan Owens. Like when his career is over and Simone Owens is still known and people still get the shivers when they see her or etc. or whatever, that's when the chokeouts start happening. Wow. Oh. And black men are supposed to do what with this? This is why black men are not part of the church crowd. If you want to know why there's not a lot of black men that are these holy rollers and part of the church crowd, it's because excuse me, of talk like this. Wow. Uh-huh. Right. Insane. Insane. Oh man. Look, if this is what the black community is, just a group of people building or doing or living or existing off of the dead bodies of black men and insulting black men along the way, belittling black men along the way, even listen, Jonathan Owens married his wife under the age of 30. They have a family. They are both successful in their own right. They are both rich. They're not going to have to need for nothing ever in their life. They are both extremely physically gifted and talented. And instead of praising and big upping that family, you have black women calling him insecure, calling him a raving narcissist, speaking about her like she has low self-esteem and inferiority complex, wishing that she was with a white man instead, telling black men they should get their relationship model from a white man like Alexis Ohanian. You have black men saying that once he loses his career or his career ends, that he's gonna maybe possibly be physically abusive. Oh boy. Woo! Woo! Mm. Wow. Yeah, Indigo. And Indigo Flow says, wow, so they're already framing him as a physical abuser and all the women praying for the downfall of their marriage. These can't be the same people that talk about black love. Oh yeah, no, yeah, we new era. Yeah, that black love stuff is out the window. We're in a new era. They're not even pretending anymore with that. They're straight up telling you, yeah, F that black love thing. People that claim to be fighting patriarchy claim to be fighting the patriarchy, but are so hell-bent on keeping certain tenets and practices and actions from this so-called patriarchy, while also insulting black men for not playing a certain patriarchal role, and then insulting black women for not playing a certain patriarchal role where they're acted upon. You don't do no acting. The most you ever do is hint, suggest, put the breadcrumbs, and then let him move. How dare Simone Biles do what she needed to do to make herself Simone Owens? How dare she? And how dare Mr. Jonathan Owens make it known and public that she made the first move? And how dare she corroborate that story? How dare she? These are the people that's claimed they claim they on the left. They claim they fight in patriarchy. Why they call men, black men, sassy as an insult? All right. Uh-huh. I said it. The elites are going to take away and snatch away all the things that make men men, and they ain't gonna say nothing to the women, and they're just gonna let the women throw a goddamn fit, a temper tantrum, insulting the men, being bust downs for rich and upper middle class white men, because these women are trying to throw the vagina around, hoping that they can catch them a rich white man with the vagina. So Dr. Thunder says, deregulated dating market, plus what is it? Deregulated dating market plus, is it intersectionality? Oh, I just said it earlier. How did I forget? Deregulated dating market plus integration equals divestment. There we go. Deregulated dating market plus integration equals divestment. Something along those lines. Mr. Z is getting it wrong. I've said it like a million times, and I still get it wrong every once in a while. And I would say neoliberalism plus feminism equals racial hypergamy, because the white peen reigns supreme, because they will insulate themselves. The top 20 or so percent will insulate themselves from all of the fallout. And that's why black women don't get divorced from white men. By the way, if y'all really want to talk about the low divorce rate between black women and white men, because the white men of upper middle class, the one that y'all really trying to end up with, have insulated themselves from the fallout of feminism. They're still playing their patriarchal duties. Right? I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. Well, in that, let's shoot for the next 5 minutes. What is it? Over here, it's 10:19. By 10:25, Mrs. Z's out of here. Okay, all right. I hear you, Nim. I hear you. Naaman said, I still want you to have a family. Right? And so let's read this now then. And the Wife School podcast says, Merry Christmas, Mr. Z in chat. Merry Christmas, brother. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to everyone. Happy holidays. Right, and thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. And I guess I'll read this one now. And Big Kev says, but I thought female/gay coons don't exist, right? Man, they don't. I think the left wouldn't have a problem acknowledging that. They wouldn't have a problem acknowledging that. They'll just act like it's some super small minority. It's like sample negative, right? It's infinitesimal. It's teeny tiny. That's the way they would frame that. Lion says, too bad. Too bad a lot of women suck at hypergamy. Man, talking all that hypergamous talk, right? Talking all that hypergamous talk, but look. I told you. And FD, this is not just women on the internet. This is like all women, bro. Like damn it. And that the problem is, and this is why I told you, watch Anne-Marie Slaughter. The problem is, FD, brothers like you get married, Your wife at one point is earning more than you. Y'all family is still running. I don't know whatever situation y'all got going on, but y'all making it work. Y'all managing. And because you see that in your situation, and maybe you see that in a couple of the people that's in your circle, where the women earn more than the man, and they still making it work, and she's not thrown in his face, you think that's a thing. And Anne Marie Slaughter, who's more traveled than you, who's more accomplished than you, and who's a white woman, let's call it thing a thing, is telling you, nah, not really. And she said it. Brooklyn puts the lie to this. Because y'all have this disproportionately, y'all think this is a thing. It's not a thing. Women despise it. And that's a woman that worked for the Clintons, right? Then you go to the right, and Tucker Carlson is telling you, yeah, women ain't marrying no man. That women in general are not marrying men that earn less than them. And y'all like, okay, well, marriage is a patriarchal construct anyway. They're not coupling. They're not even having children no more. Look at the birth rate. The foundation of your society is crumbling because y'all trying to force through something that's not going to work. It's that simple. And y'all so hell-bent on pushing this on working class men, and working class women to say, yeah, about that. Okay, so I'm not going to get married. Y'all were okay with that as long as the women were producing the children. And more they're telling you they're not having the kids either. They rather be the quote unquote rich auntie, regular ass auntie, barely stable auntie. Now that is when we get into issues. But I forgot some on the left. This is not really a leftist thing, but some on the left are like, well, we don't really need that many children anyway. You know, the population and pollution and the extreme. Now we do got some extreme on the left that talk like that. That's not the whole left. That's not even the majority of the left. But we do have some on the left that think depopulation and degrowth is great. And when I say degrowth, I don't mean degrowth as in maybe we need to stop overproducing just to drop down the prices of certain things. No, they're talking about children. They're talking about human beings. Right? And once again, Big Kev, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. And you're right. Right? Lion said paycheck to paycheck, auntie. Exactly. And just because she could get her niece or nephew a little something here or there, she calling herself the rich auntie. Because she's driving a used Benz that she could barely afford. A used BMW, a used Beamer that she could barely afford. Now she's a rich auntie. Okay, yeah, that's it. All right. I'm telling y'all. Right? Y'all trying to force in something, and then y'all got Miss Kiera out here talking crazy. Y'all have Kim Foster sounding schizophrenic. All that leftist talk, and every time she get annoyed with black men, every time she covers a story and she want to put her 2 cents in, she don't sound too leftist then. Huh? And she said it's fascinating watching the clip where she say it. See, the progressive me wants to say this and this and this and this and that, but then the other me, you mean the real you? FD, Kim Foster represents far more women in general, black women specifically, than you want to admit to yourself. You already know it, and it's punching you in the face because you refuse to accept it. You said it on T Noir's video. You said it on her think piece. You know. You just refuse to accept it. And then what does that mean for black boys, black men, even black little girls? Even for the girls. Fine, you don't want to talk about the men, fine, screw them. You call yourself a simple black woman, fine. What are all these black women supposed to do when they throw a goddamn fit and they don't want to be the bust downs for white men? Huh? So black women that want to be in relationship and see, it's interesting being the channel. It's now um and I've used it on my one of my streams of marriage and whatnot. And he even said towards the end of his think piece about marriage that it's going to be unfortunate if the reason why young people aren't getting because they don't want to get married, it's because we might have met up this kind of dynamic between men and women, or the finances of like pretty much these people can't afford to be married and what it means, so they're not getting married. Look at that. Mr. Z was borging, and now I got kicked off, and I can only let me see if I can find. Okay, no, I can still read them. Oh, wait a minute. No, I can. Okay, perfect, perfect, perfect. Let me read these now before, because I can't go to the. Okay, let's read these now, just in case. And Better You says, and thank you for the super chat. Tony Gaskins, a god damn. Oh, so, Mr. Gaskins, look, it's super chat, and I promise I read my super chats. So I gotta say it because Better You put the money to it. So look, that's the I gotta read the super like if it was a regular comment, I wouldn't highlight it, I wouldn't read it. But look, Better You purposely paid for it so that I could read it. Mr. Gaskins, my apologies. But Better You says Tony Gaskins, a fuck ass nigga. He speaks from emotions and uses the truth to twist situations to his narrative. Mr. Gaskins, you was out here talking about physical abuse. I'm just saying. You were out here saying you said. And essentially you implied and said and suggested, all three, that this man might become physically abusive when his career ends. Essentially because of what? A sense of insecurity next to his wife, who's more famous and rich than him? I'm just saying. And Better You, thank you for the super chat. God damn you, Better You, to make me read that. Damn. Right. And thank you for the super chat. Jeez. Well, any chance I ever had at being part of the tour that they with Ace Metaphor and Tony Giggins. It wasn't gonna happen, but still, any chance I had is gone now. Oh, craziness. Everybody else said it's not personal, it's just business. Come on, why is it okay? Am I bored? Okay, there we go. There we go. There we go. All right. And let me read it again. As y'all said, it's not personal, it's just business. Oh man, exactly, Samuel Norton. He doesn't even have a history of abuse. But like this is them look, it's because we need the narrative to be a certain way. How dare this couple find each other the way they found each other? How dare they? And everybody's saying, well, this dynamic, she's the rich one and he's the famous. I mean, she's the rich one and famous one and he's the pretty one. Okay, I know a lot of brothers want to fight that. Okay, and she's the rich one. He's the prime. Okay, let's go. And because of her money and her size, and she started to come up because the way he looks. And I know all of the brothers would push back on the fight against it. He's like, First of all, I don't know if that's the dynamic. Even if it is, so what? Even if it is, so what? Are they happy? Okay, they hate me. Okay, I was Borgen bad. Let's just say this again. What I was saying, because I'm going to end out, because clearly I need to be enjoying my lady in Christmas, and I got to run errands anyway. Okay, so let's just end it out with this. What I was saying was, even if what people are saying is true, which is um he's the pretty one and she's the rich and famous one, and they have an issue with this. I know that a lot of brothers would fight against that, and I agree. I don't actually know if that's the dynamic, but fine, let's go with it. He's the pretty one, she's the rich and famous one. So what? Are they happy? So what? Are they happy? I'm not even saying I agree. I'm saying if I grant them that, so what? They're happy, right? But as Miss Kiera told us, it's really not about Simone Owens, right? And also, what we got from Miss Kiera is that it doesn't even matter if we find out these people are lying and they're scammers. These women are lying and scammers. Even when we find out that Rhoda and Brickgate is a whole lie and she's a scammer, FD will still use that story to prove a point. Even when we find out that Kiki Palmer is actually the abusive one and a liar, Kiera will still use that story of Darius Jackson being the abuser to push a point, right? And so Lion says, and thank you for the super chat. The truth is, most women suck at hypergamy. If most of them were successful at it, settling, quote unquote, settling wouldn't be such a common term. I gotta agree, right? And Nigel says, yes, they are happy, and a lot of these black women rage is stemming from covert jealousy. Oh yeah, absolutely, 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 right? And thank you, Nigel. Thank you. Right. And on that note, everyone, that was my Christmas stream rant. Jesus Christ! Look, man, I'm going to stay. No, I'm not. I'm lying. I'm not gonna stay off of YouTube and the internet. That's a lie, Mr. Z. Stop it. Right. But I'm not gonna be able to stream anyway because I'm gonna be on the move for real. And I'm gonna spend the other time playing Forza or something like that. But I'm not streaming for the rest of the day. Y'all catch me tomorrow or Wednesday because geez, look, I agree with Prince and Sincere from Thought Crimes. And did I link them yesterday in the video? If I did it, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna check for my video yesterday when I referenced them because I'm gonna link them. And shout out to them. Prince was right that this is not a story. So I was saying that too. But Prince is right about this definitely, which is even if this was, it should have been died out. And the reason why it hasn't died out is once again, black women are far too invested. But Miss Kiera informed us why. Right? Miss Kiera informed us why. Because they see this as a way to communicate, once again, that black men ain't ish, of course. Right? Just like what Kevin Samuel said with the average at best video. Once it passed a certain number, he knew it was bigger than him and he found something here. Right? This is touching on something. I would like to say, and I'll end it out on this Jonathan Owens, Simone Owens story, there's something here. There's something here. This is bigger than, and just like Miss Kiera said, this is bigger than Miss Simone Owens, right? And on that note, everyone, and I'll do that. Diaspora L, and Diaspora L says, Z, please link the Thought Crimes URL. I will. I'll put it in the comment section for the previous video, the one where I did and I have the thumbnail of what Passport OG said, which is Alexis Ohanian is the model of black masculinity. Shout out to Passport OG. And on that note, everyone, we will pause right there. Wow, Miss Kiera, wow. All right, all right. And shout out to all of y'all with the raving narcissists. Exactly. That's what black men are now, raving narcissists. And on that note, we will end out right there. Y'all have a great rest of y'all day. Merry Christmas, happy holidays. Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, and whatever y'all celebrate. And for those of you that don't celebrate the holidays, have a great day, right? And we will end it right there. Just from BGS Patreon exposed that fact. Man, okay, so I gotta watch that. I gotta watch it then. And thank you, Diaspora. I gotta watch it. And I really want to have a conversation with Jess. Somebody tell Jess Mr. Z is looking for her, and if she doesn't mind having a conversation with me, and I promise her, if she listens to the conversation with me and FD, or me and Dr. Thunder, I can be cordial and I won't be mean and I won't be sniping at her, and I'll let her talk, and et cetera, et cetera. I won't be constantly cutting her off. I'll probably cut her off because it's a conversation. But anyway, somebody tell Jess Mr. Z is looking for her. And yeah, on that note, y'all have a great rest of y'all day. And Lion just had to squeeze this in here. He says, they love narcissists anyway. And on that note, y'all have a great rest of y'all day. Mr. Z out. All right, y'all.